One of the exercises that we did earlier in this Create module that you had the video for was about the sounds in a language. More specifically, it was about the child's ability to count the number of sounds in a language, and this is an important skill. Now this activity that we're going to do here is something that's similar. It looks at still the sounds in a language, but here it's about the sounds at the beginning of a word and if they can be recognized in a way that can allow a child to distinguish words from each other. So this is a recognition exercise. What you would do is you would show these pictures to a child, and they wouldn't have to produce anything. That way it's good for children who might be learning English but still have a large enough receptive vocabulary to be able to do this, or it's also an activity that's suitable for children who have English as a first language, where you're just checking both their hearing and their ability to discriminate between initial sounds and words. So in this case, what you would do is ask the child, can you point to the hat? And then you would go through them in turn. Can you point to the cat? Can you point to the bat? And then maybe go back to, can you point to the hat? So they don't just pick the last one. And then, can you point to the rat? And if a child is making mistakes in these, then you're understanding that they're probably not able to process those initial sounds, at least not to a stringent enough degree to be able to discriminate between the words. That means that a child could, first of all, possibly have a hearing problem, but if the problem isn't with their hearing, it could be a problem with sound processing that goes beyond hearing and is actually part of language processing. So here I have another example ready to go. Here we're looking at some different sounds. Here you could ask, please point to rain, and then point to chain, point to cane, and point to pain. And teachers are often very, very good at making things fun and making games out of things. So I imagine there are dozens of different variations that you could have on this to make it a bit more entertaining for children. Another thing that you can do is to have just the sounds at the end of the word vary. So if you do think there might be any kind of processing problem or difficulty in noticing very small sounds in language, you can do exercises like this where you arrange it to your own needs. You can even target specific sounds if you think that a child might have a difficulty just with a certain category of sounds. Hopefully this will be something fairly easy to put together, something that children will be happy to do, and something that will give you some clear information about a child's ability to process the sounds of language.